I mean, if you beat him after that, it don't count. You understand me? So it's not that. I'm not saying Floyd's not a great fighter, but I can't put him ahead of guys who have crossed that line like that. When I put you in with an equal opposition, Floyd would beat Sugar. No, baby, Floyd is not as nearly as mean as Sugar was.
You don't think you would have beat him?
How? How you gonna keep him off? Sugar is a dog. People don't, just cause his name Sugar don't mean nothing.
This has been orchestrated. I don't know. But I do know not just anybody should be allowed to be in the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather.
Absolutely.
If you beat a fighter past his prime, it doesn't count. That's the message Roy Jones Jr. delivered loud and clear when talking about Floyd Mayweather's legacy. Roy isn't denying that Floyd is great, but he refuses to place him above fighters like Sugar Ray Leonard, who faced killers in their prime and came out on top. Roy reminded fans that Leonard fought Tommy Hearns when both men were undefeated, not years later after
Mayweather, Roy.
I don't know what's going on with him. Sugar Ray Leonard said himself he thought he would beat him. The reason I tell people I thought Sugar would beat him is because when you mention great fighters, right? 90% of your great fighters are black, the ones from the past. Now, with the Eastern Bloc coming on like they are, there's going to be some great ones coming on now. Even with Lil Tony, as you see it, these guys are going to be great. They're going to start eclipsing and coming up there too. But right now, if you had to name 5 of the best fighters of all time, 4 of them going to be black. You understand me? Who did he beat that was black in his prime, that was in their prime, that was on his level? Nobody. Sugar Ray Leonard beat Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns twice, Roberto Duran, who would be one of the other people on that pound list. He beat guys that were Floyd Mayweather Sr. He beat guys that were at their prime, no matter what color they were. He beat all of them at their prime. Him and Tommy fought when they both had O's. Not when Tommy got beat by Ari and Barkley. That's too late to beat Tommy. If you beat him after that, it don't count. You understand me? So it's not that. I'm not saying Floyd's not a great fighter, but I can't put him ahead of guys who have crossed that line like that. When I put you in with an equal opposition, now I can judge and say, hey, you did that, you go on that line. But Terrence Crawford was there all these years. He never fought him. He fought Canelo, who was way younger than Crawford, 3 years younger than Crawford. But Crawford was there too, but you never called Crawford's name.
Is there like some sort of tensions and beef between you? Or?
He got mad because I said that on All the Smoke, and then he started put up some video of him watching some of the fights I had in my later career where I got knocked out. He said, look at the highlights. Yeah, they make the highlights. But those highlights are probably more exciting than your highlights. Still, you feel me? But when you play with me, I'm not ducking and dodging nothing. Still, my name's still Roy Jones Jr. I don't care. I get in shape right now for anybody. Running ain't my game. I never duck and dodge. I'm not that guy.
Do you think he'll fight you?
I don't know if he will. I'm welcome. I'm wide open for it. So let's go.
And on that note, always a pleasure, my man. Thank you.
Hearns had already suffered devastating losses. He pointed out that Leonard also defeated Roberto Duran and even Marvin Hagler, legends who were still at the top of their game. That, Roy argues, is the true measure of greatness. Floyd's career. Roy believes it was more about protection than perfection. To him, Mayweather's 50-0 record looks flawless on paper but lacks the grit of fighting the most dangerous opponents at the right time. Roy accuses Floyd of clever matchmaking, waiting for the perfect moment when a fighter was no longer a threat before stepping into the ring. He even brought up Terrence Crawford. Roy questioned,
Floyd Mayweather looks me in my face and he says, I'm going to take him out about the 8th or 9th round. And I said, your hand's always broken. You ain't known for your punching power since you moved up from lightweight to welterweight. Why are you so sure you're going to do this? He said, Stephen A., he's a UFC fighter. He said, and he's a striker. He's accustomed to coming at you and throwing punches. What he's not accustomed to doing is punching while he's throwing backwards, while he's moving backwards and pushing you off of him. He says, I'm going to walk right into him and stay at his chest. He's going to have to push me off in order to throw his punches. He said he's going to be circling the ring. He said by around 4 or 5, he's not going to have any legs. He's going to be done. And he said, and I'll just toy with him and keep him around until around the 8th or the 9th round. And that is exactly what Floyd Money Mayweather did.
Boxers, if not the greatest boxer in history. He's absolutely sensational. But he retired years ago. And for me personally, I know these exhibition matches are entertaining. I like the one with Conor McGregor. Not so much the one with Logan Paul. Looking at these exhibitions and all of that stuff, that little melee and stuff don't matter to me. As far as I'm concerned, it could have potentially been orchestrated. I don't know. But I do know not just anybody should be allowed to be in the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather.
Absolutely.
I just believe.
And why Floyd never called out Crawford during the years they overlapped, yet chose to fight a much younger Canelo Alvarez instead. For Roy, it's proof that Floyd picked opportunities carefully rather than testing himself against the toughest challenges. But this isn't just about strategy. Roy took Mayweather's trolling personally. Floyd mocked him by replaying his knockout losses against Antonio Tarver and Glenn Johnson. Instead of brushing it off, Roy fired back, saying his highlights were still more exciting than Floyd's, and challenging Mayweather to meet him in the ring, not in an exhibition, but in a real fight with real rules. Stephen A. Smith, however, defended Mayweather.
Even at this age, who's better? Let's do it. We don't got to do subliminal. Roy Jones, 56 years of age, right? If you don't know, Roy Jones, who's 66 wins, 10 losses, no draw, 47 wins by way of knockout. He was knocked out 5 times in his career. Stands at 5'11" with a 74-inch arm reach. Roy Jones was asked a few times, particularly he did an interview with another Hall of Famer, an Olympic gold medalist, 2-division world champion retired, Andre S.O.G. Ward. And Roy Jones was asked about, what his thoughts is of Floyd Mayweather. He's always been very outspoken when it comes to Floyd Mayweather. He's never kept it a secret. He don't value Floyd Mayweather because Floyd Mayweather made a statement about Roy Jones' icon, right? A guy he looked up to, the GOAT, that many people believe, Muhammad Ali. When Floyd Mayweather made the comments that Muhammad Ali is not better than him, that he's better than Muhammad Ali, Roy Jones didn't take that too light. Roy Jones was not happy with that. He said, how you gonna say you better than the GOAT? How you gonna say you better than somebody that paved the way for us all? How you gonna say, that you could beat Muhammad Ali? You a small guy. You understand what I'm saying? And rightfully so, I get it. But Roy Jones, gotta understand, everybody's mindset ain't his mindset, right? Everybody don't have the same mindset. Everybody's not looking at it the same way, right? Floyd Mayweather always says this. It is no disrespect to no other fighter, but I ain't getting the sport of boxing. This ain't no fighter is better than me, and he ain't supposed to, right? You get in this, you have idols, you have icons, you have people that pave the way that you look up to, but you get in it to be better than them, right? It's just like being a parent, right? You want your kids to be better than you, not equal to you, not on the same level, but you want them to be better than you. And that's how Floyd Mayweather look at it. Yeah, Muhammad Ali paved the way. Yes, he's great, but guess what? I ain't getting in this sport to say somebody's better than me. Now, where Floyd Mayweather went a little sideways to the people when Muhammad Ali's kids and family got involved, his daughter Layla Ali, they wasn't happy. And then Floyd said, well, listen.
Recalling the night Floyd dismantled a young, powerful Canelo Alvarez despite suffering from an injured hand. To Stephen A., that fight proved Mayweather's genius, his IQ, composure, and ability to dominate even when compromised. He believes that no one else could have toyed with Canelo like Floyd did. Still, Roy refuses to let the narrative slide. He insists Sugar Ray Leonard would have beaten Floyd, calling Leonard a dog, a fighter with raw toughness and a killer instinct.
Roy Jones Jr. is telling the truth about Floyd Mayweather Jr. Finally, as the two of these incredible fighters have been going back and forth in the media, trading barbs, trading insults. But as people listen and look, one thing that stands out to me is that you guys must have really forgotten how great a fighter Roy Jones Jr. was at his peak. When you look at Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s whole career, you see a perfect career, incredible fights, no losses. But what you won't see is any time in his career where he was as good and as dominant at his peak as Roy Jones Jr. was. Roy Jones Jr. was one of the best fighters, pound for pound, #1 fighter in the sport of boxing for over a decade, and he deserves respect for that. Now, specifically about what Floyd Mayweather Jr. had to say and the insult that he had about Muhammad Ali, that's what is at the root of Roy Jones Jr.'s problem with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Because Floyd Mayweather Jr., despite how great he is absolutely positively an egomaniac, seemingly incapable of giving other people their credit. If you can't give credit to Muhammad Ali as being one of the top 5 fighters of your lifetime, Floyd, stop it. You know full well that he is a better fighter than Roberto Duran and that you are just being petty and insulting about the man. And I applaud applaud Roy Jones Jr. for checking Floyd Mayweather on that. And he isn't the first person to check Floyd about that. Mike Tyson said the same thing. Floyd is just an incredibly gifted person in the ring, but outside the ring, I think it's kind of hard to find anybody that's a bigger jackass than Floyd Mayweather Jr.
That Mayweather never had to face. In Roy's eyes, Floyd's style wouldn't have held up against a relentless Prime Leonard. And the feud doesn't stop there. Roy has always been outspoken about Floyd's claim that he's greater than Muhammad Ali. For Roy, that was pure disrespect. Ali paved the way, risked everything, and fought the toughest fights when they mattered. To suggest otherwise, Roy believes, shows Mayweather's arrogance and inability to give credit. Mike Tyson and even Ali's daughter, Layla Ali, echoed that same criticism. Clarissa Shields, the Olympic champion, chimed in too. Her stance: stop talking, stop trolling, just fight. If Floyd really wants to prove himself, stepping into the ring against Roy, even now, would be the only true way to silence the debate. Because at the heart of this clash isn't just skill, it's legacy. On one side, you have Floyd Mayweather, the undefeated master technician, businessman, and defensive genius. On the other side, Roy Jones Jr., the naturally gifted risk-taker who fought across multiple weight divisions and redefined what was possible in the ring. Fans and analysts are divided. Some lean on Mayweather's spotless record, others on Roy's peak dominance. But everyone agrees on one thing: this beef isn't going away. And if both men are truly serious, the only real way to end the debate is not with words, but with fists. So the question remains, who's better? Mayweather, the perfectionist who never lost? Or Roy Jones Jr., the fearless icon who dared to take risks no one else would? Only a fight could answer that. That's it for today's video. Please like and subscribe my YouTube channel.